imagine waking up in a 5-star hotel on an African safari, just stepping out onto your balcony and watching the elephants gather by the river. Sounds like a once-in-a-lifetime holiday, but here's the truth. One great commercial property can fund this holiday every year. Today I'm going to show you how a retail property in Palm Beach, Gold Coast brings in $5,000 a year in passive income, and this property is leased to Salvation Army for the next 5 years with another 5-year option to renew the lease. That passive income is enough to fund a safari adventure in South Africa just from the passive income alone. Most investors think they need a huge portfolio to fund their dream lifestyle, but the truth is one great commercial property deal can fund it all. I'm James Hawthorne and I research commercial property deals to see what sort of lifestyle they can actually fund. So stick around because I'm going to share the strategy and the numbers behind this one property and how you can use the passive income to fund a 5-star South African adventure. Let's get into it. Now let's get into analysing the property that's going to fund our financial freedom. So this property is a retail property in Palm Beach, Queensland. It's sold for $810,000. Floor area is 680 meters squared, and it's commercially zoned. So it's not residentially zoned. It's specifically for commercial properties only. Now, if we look at the pictures, it's leased to a charity. So it's probably got a good long-term tenant. As you can see, there's a bit of supply in the area. It's in a little shopping strip. It's right across from the beach, so it's in a good location. However, you can see there's a bit of a large supply of retail properties in the area. That's one thing to take into consideration. The location is unbelievable, but there is a bit of supply. Now, it keeps going through the pictures. You can see it's a small Salvation Army, leased for a charity, probably long-term, good tenant. It's a national brand. It's got car parks in the out the front, in the back as well. A lot of car park space, which is good if you need, especially retail property. And if we go down into look at the listings, so it's 5% yield, which isn't great, but it's only $800,000. And the net rent is $42,000 per annum plus outgoings. So the tenant's paying the outgoings, which is a good thing since it's going to reduce our overall costs for holding the property, especially at a 5% yield. Interest rates are above 5%. Obviously, they're going to change, every year or every decade. But at the moment, interest rates are above 5%. So the tenant paying the holding cost is going to reduce our overall cost for holding the property. It's got a long-term lease with the national tenant, the Salvation Army, which is a good thing. And the lease runs until 2029 with a 5-year option. So it's about a 10-year lease, which is pretty good. Now, it doesn't mention rental increases, but let's just assume CPI. So this overall, seems like it's an okay investment property. It's a small retail. If you're on a smaller budget, something you can afford. There is a bit of supply, which is a negative thing, but the location is unbelievable. Right next to the beach, you can't get really more land because the property is landlocked. Has got lots of car spots available, which is a good thing, especially for retail. And it's got about a 5-year lease plus another 5 years. So it's got a good long-term tenant. Let's get into the numbers to see what sort of passive income this property can generate. So if you look at our cash flow calculator, the purchase price of $810,000, assuming a deposit of 30%, our net income was $42,000. So we've got a yield about 5.21%, which isn't great. With a loan of 6.5% interest rates, so our rent's going to be $42,000. Interest is almost $37,000. So overall cash flow position is about $5,000 a year of passive income. And if you look at our cash flow snapshot, interest rates have to go up to about 7-8%, and then we start to become negatively geared. So that's the problem with having such a low yield on this property. So when interest rates start going up, we become more negatively geared, and it's going to cost you more to hold the property. But if interest rates start going down, and say they go down to 3%, you're going to be positively geared $25,000 just from this one property. Now, if we look at our paydown calculator, same purchase price, same yield, and assuming a rental increase of 4.5%, the first year you're going to have that $5,000 a year of passive income. By year 5, you're going to be positively geared almost $16,000. And by year 10, you're going to be positively geared over $35,000 from this one property. And if we look down to year 15, you're going to be positively geared $66,000 just from this one property. It's going to take you a bit of time, more than 15 years, to pay off the loan from this one property. but it's still cash flowing just from using these basic numbers. Now let's get into what sort of lifestyle can this passive income actually fund. So for boiling on a budget, our budget was $5,325,000 for the year just from this one property. So I tried to figure out what sort of 5-star holiday can we actually fund based off this passive income. So I found a South African safari that's 5-star, I think 11 days for 4,300. So as a budget of 4,300, we're going to be left with about $1,000 left over for savings. So let's look at what sort of trip this can actually fund. So this is on TripADeal. I found this safari $4,300 for 11 days. You can also choose the 15-day option, which is a bit over our budget, which was $6,100. And it's going to fund return international flights, 7 nights in a 5-star resort, and 2 nights in a 4-star accommodation in Johannesburg. So you're going to fly to the reserve, enjoy some time there, fly to Cape Town, and then back to Johannesburg. So it's 11 days going on safari. You know, you get to see some of the most amazing creatures. Every South African I know always recommends the one thing you got to do in your life is go see a safari. So this one property is going to completely fund that trip every year for you just from the passive income from this retail property on the Gold Coast. That's a 5-star South African safari completely funded by one commercial property. Now, if you like these sorts of videos, go watch my last one where I share how a Brisbane retail property completely funds a 3-bedroom villa in Koh Samui, Thailand. So go watch that next, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out.